Well, good day, sunshine, and hello, AR 4366, the massive sunspot that has produced more than 24 strong solar flares over the past 2 days, 5 of them being X-class solar flare. AR 4366 literally just popped off another X flare, X 1.5 to be exact, and it is now in a more Earth-directed position than this sunspot was yesterday and the day prior. So anything that comes right now is a direct hit from our sun. So this X-class solar flare most definitely will have a CME attached to it. Stay tuned, we'll keep you updated with the latest details. Thank you so much for following along with daily events worldwide. Current space weather conditions, we are under level 3 radio blackwood impacts from this most recent X-class solar flare. Here's a look at the aurora forecast, as it's pretty quiet right now for the next couple days, right up until the 5th into the 6th. As you can see, CME models from the X-class solar flares. Big CME on its way. Here's a look at LASCO 3 showing all cosmic energies and the CMEs. Much love. Hope you enjoy your day. Stay safe and healthy, aware and prepared.
Friend, is it getting hot in here, or is the sun just acting like it's got a mortgage it can't pay? Pull up a chair, because while you were worrying about your neighbor's overgrown lawn, the literal star of the show just decided to throw a tantrum that's about to knock the Wi-Fi right out of your hand. Welcome back to Unapologetic Opinions of Mine. If you're over 40 and you're tired of the world acting like every day is a new episode of a disaster movie, you are in the right place. I'm your host, and today we are talking about the sun catching an attitude. We've got X-class solar flares, got Elon's satellites sweating in orbit, and we've got the Trump administration putting the power grid on high alert. This is the problem solver angle, because if the lights go out, I'm going to make sure your candles are lit and your coins are protected.
The sun just fired off 3 massive shots towards Earth. Follow and watch till the end, because this isn't your average space weather. After weeks of calm, a volatile sunspot region called AR 4168 erupted. 3 powerful flares in a single day. One of them an M4.4 class flare, and that's among the most intense this year. These aren't just flashes, they're coronal mass ejections, blasts of charged particles racing towards us. Right now, scientists say one of these flares has about a 12% chance of hitting Earth. If it does, it could trigger a geomagnetic storm, disrupting satellites, knocking out radio, and making GPS unreliable. And if you live in northern Maine or Michigan, you might even see the northern lights tonight. Here's the bigger concern. AR 4168 isn't the only active region. Another cluster, AR 3038, could fire more M-class flares, or even X-class, the strongest there is. And if multiple hits line up, we could see a tech blackout chain reaction no one's ready for. In spite of the storms above, we keep our feet on the ground.
Listen, honey, I know we've all had our days where we just wanted to scream and set something on fire, but the sun took it literally. Over the last 48 hours, sunspot region AR 4366, which is about 10 times wider than Earth, basically the size of my frustrations, just exploded with an X8.1 solar flare. Now, for those of you who don't speak science, an X-class flare is the big mama of solar events. It's the kind of energy that makes a lightning bolt look like a AA battery. They're calling it the solar maximum of 2026. I call it the sun having a hot flash and taking it out on our cell phone towers. If your GPS has been acting like it lost its mind, or your radio was giving you nothing but static, don't blame your provider. Blame the giant fireball in the sky. Now let's look at the receipts. Remember how President Trump declared that national emergency last month? Well, the timing couldn't be more Trumpian. The NOAA Space Weather Prediction Center just issued an R3 strong radio blackout warning. What does that mean for you? It means the power grid managers are currently sitting in their offices sweating like they're in a deposition. When those solar particles hit Earth's magnetic field, which is expected to happen around February the 5th, They can create induced currents. That's fancy talk for blowing up transformers. If the grid goes down because the sun decided to sneeze, we aren't just talking about no Netflix, honey. We're talking about no ATMs, no gas pumps, and no refrigerated wine. And at our age, we need that wine chilled, okay? And then you got Elon Musk. He's been all over X, formerly Twitter, but he's still calling it X, warning everybody that his Starlink satellites are under a lot of pressure. I'm starting to think the Starlink satellites are creating whatever's going on. He's got over 9,000 of those little internet boxes floating around up there, and these solar flares increase the drag in the atmosphere. It's like trying to run through a swimming pool filled with molasses. Last time this happened, he lost 40 satellites in one go. Elon's trying to stay cool, saying that they're holding up so far, but honey, if those satellites start falling like rain, the digital age is going to feel real Stone Age real quick. He's pushing for his space data centers to be solar powered, but right now, the sun is the one doing the powering and it ain't sharing the remote.
This is one of Elon Musk's Starlink satellite trains. And if you don't know what you're looking at exactly, it's because it's a super weird phenomenon. This is a row of almost 60 satellites, individual satellites that are flying through space. And this is actually just a few hours after launch. Over time, each satellite spreads out, creating a circle around the planet. And the goal is to launch thousands of these satellites so that eventually they create a network, a web of Starlink satellites that cover the whole planet, providing reliable internet access at high speeds to anyone on the planet. Now, there are several apps and websites that will tell you when to predict these flybys, but I find them to be very temperamental and difficult to see. If you want to see more Starlink videos, be sure to check out my YouTube channel, The Orbital Alliance, and follow here for more Starlink content to come.
Guys, I found him. He's ready to tell y'all about the Starlink. So me, I don't know anything about it. What is a Starlink? How do you use the Starlink?
Starlink is essentially a Wi-Fi hotspot or a router or a combination of the two. So basically what you do is once you buy it and you set up your subscription, you plug it into a power source. The power source can be your home power outlet if it works, if you have power. If you do not have power, just plug it into a battery pack. It will also run off a solar panel if there's sunlight and if the solar panel's big enough.
Okay, let's see the setup because you saying a whole lot and that still ain't meaning a lot to me. Here's the Starlink.
So essentially what you want with the Starlink is you want it to be facing north. So right now, north is this way, it's turned, and inside the app, it will show you align it. So right now, I know that it's aligned properly. And from there, you send in the power. And in this case, I have the power going to this power pack. It will also run off of this little guy as well. So when I go camping, I take this guy.
Period. All right, you said it was a subscription. How much is the doggone subscription?
There are multiple plans that Starlink offers because I only use this when I'm out and about traveling and stuff like that. I have the 10 gigabyte roam plan. So it's only, I think it's $10 a month. Yeah, $10 a month for this particular plan. I don't use it a ton, but it comes in handy when you have an emergency or if you're traveling and you're in and out of cell service. I put it on my dashboard. There's also suction cups that you can mount it up against your sunroof, and you will always have Wi-Fi.
Period.
There are other multiple plans with it. So I have the 10 gigabyte plan. There's also 100 gigabyte, and my brother uses the unlimited plan, and he loves it.
He's a truck driver, so he's all over. So he bought the unlimited, which is $165 a month. Period.
Yeah, so Starlink, there's several thousand satellites in low Earth orbit, and they're moving around 25 times the speed of sound in these, they're zipping around the Earth, basically. And they're at an altitude of about 550 kilometers, which is called generally low Earth orbit. Because they're at low Earth orbit, the latency is low. Like the distance, because the distance is not that far compared to a geostationary satellite, 36,000 kilometers. So you've got thousands of satellites providing low latency, high-speed internet throughout the world, and they are interconnected as well. So there are laser links between the satellites, so it forms sort of a laser mesh, so that if let's say if cables are damaged or cut, like fiber cables, the satellites can communicate between each other and provide connectivity even if the cables are cut. So, for example, when the Red Sea cables were cut, I think a few months ago, the Starlink satellite network continued to function without a hitch. So it's particularly helpful for disaster areas. So, if an area has been hit with some kind of natural disaster, floods or fires or earthquakes, that tends to damage the ground infrastructure, but the Starlink satellites still work. So, and generally, whenever there's some sort of natural disaster somewhere, we always provide people with free Starlink internet connectivity. We don't want to take advantage of a tragic situation. So, if there's natural disasters, we're like, okay, it's free during the natural disaster. We don't want to say like, put a paywall up while somebody's trying to get help. That would be wrong.
Now the media is telling us that these orbs we see in our sky is one of Elon Musk's satellite trains called Starlink. And this would be over 60 satellites flying through space. But here lately, the people been having questions about this new sky event. Now they say their goal is to make more of these trains, and this will provide internet access to anybody on the planet. But now my people is starting to think, we is starting to use our head. This satellite train have to weigh hundreds of tons. We need to go ask these people, how do they keep these satellites in the sky? Because what goes up always have to come back down. Now my personal opinion, there is no way these satellites is in the sky like this. But that's not even it. Y'all check this out. They say these satellites could travel the whole world in 90 minutes. Somebody gotta make this make sense to me, because the math ain't mathing right now. If you look at these trains, they look like stars. They look like orbs of light. We also have to realize that we are etheric light beings, and we came from the stars. Now just think, what if, just what if, this is your ancestors returning to make contact with you? I hope y'all like the lecture. Love and wholeness.
Now let me stop right there, because I can see you clutching your iPhone like it's a life preserver. Listen to me, bestie. The reason these solar flares are so scary is because we have become slaves to the plug. If the power goes out, your 9 to 5 might go out with it. If the internet glitches, your paycheck might glitch too. This is why I keep telling you about Wealthy Affiliate. In a world where the sun can knock out the power grid, you need a business that is as flexible as a gymnast. Wealthy Affiliate teaches you how to build a digital empire that you can manage from a laptop anywhere. But if you don't have electricity, you ain't going to be able to manage nothing. Even if the local grid flickers, the beauty of affiliate marketing is that your store never closes. You're learning how to use the same AI that Elon uses to create income that doesn't depend on a boss or a building. Because if your lights go out and somebody else got power, they can still see you grinding online. You'll still be making money. So go to the link in my description, join the Wealthy Affiliate family, and let's get your finances solar proof, because if the sun is going to act out, you might as well be getting paid while you watch the show. Go get your bag, honey. So what are we doing to solve this? We aren't panicking, we're preparing. Number 1, get a Faraday bag. If you've got a backup phone or a tablet, put it in the Faraday bag. It blocks those electromagnetic pulses so your tech doesn't get fried. 2, unplug the good stuff. If the news says a CME, a coronal mass ejection, is hitting, unplug your big screen TV and your computer. A surge protector can only do so much against the sun, sugar. 3, paper receipts. Keep some cash on hand and print out your most important information. If the cloud disappears for a day, you don't want to be the one who forgot their own bank account number. Trump is already talking about hardening the grid as part of his 2026 infrastructure plan, but honey, we've been waiting on infrastructure week since 2017. You are your own best backup plan. Now, I want to hear from you in the comments because the unapologetic family always has the best tea. Have you noticed your Wi-Fi or your cell phone acting wonky over the last 24 hours? 2, are you worried about the power grid going down or Elon's satellites falling on your car? 3, what is the one piece of tech you absolutely cannot live without if the sun decides to take it out? Drop your thoughts below. I'm reading every comment while I go find where I put my manual can opener because if the power goes out, I am still eating my peaches. The sun is bright, but your future should be brighter. Now that's my unapologetic opinion, and I said what I said.